With the new AirPods Pro, it seems like Apple is attacking every single thing that people complained about with the original AirPods. So in this review, we'll see if Apple succeeded. Let me first remind you of the main problems people had with the AirPods. First off, quite a few people have ear canals that simply don't fit the AirPods, like my brother-in-law Ben, who absolutely loves Apple products, but AirPods just won't fit in his ears. A lot of people also felt that the sound quality of the AirPods was lacking for the price, especially the bass reproduction. And people didn't really like the long stem design. In fact, they still say it looks like a toothbrush hanging out of your ear. There were also connection and lag issues, which thankfully were fixed with AirPods 2 and its new H1 chip, which is the same chip that's also packed into the Pros, so that's fixed. People complained about no noise cancellation, and since the older AirPods don't have a sealed design, there's already a lot of sound leakage. I personally was disappointed with the lack of controls on the AirPods, being limited to 2 control options and having to double tap the AirPods, which worked decently well, but when it didn't, it was extremely annoying. Other than that, the AirPods were always great and very reliable, becoming the best-selling wireless earphones in the world. And now, we've got the AirPods Pro, so let's see if Apple fixed those issues, starting with the new design. Yes, the new case is larger, but not large enough to make it an inconvenience. It still fits perfectly fine in my small pocket within a pocket, so don't worry about the case at all. The new design of the AirPods is definitely different with new black vents and details all the way around, so it's pretty easy to tell that someone is wearing the Pros and not the regular AirPods, especially since the stem has been shortened by quite a bit, making it look a bit nicer, and it also stops the stem from rubbing against your skin if you didn't put them in at the correct angle. I love that Apple includes 3 different sizes of silicone ear tips, and they even have an ear tip fit test to make sure they seal well. But I'd recommend trying all of them out because we got better bass with the largest tips, even though the median ones pass the test. Apple has done something truly unique with these silicone tips. Almost every single in-ear earphone I've ever used has a thin protruding plastic tube for the speakers that actually goes into your ear canal alongside the silicone tips. And not long after wearing earphones like that, my ears would start to hurt from the plastic insert, and that's part of the reason why I switched to Apple EarPods many years ago. But with the Pros, the speaker grill is actually flush with the Pro itself, so only the soft silicone tip goes into your ear. That means your ears literally won't hurt at all, even after hours of use. And even better, the tips include their own little plastic grill, so earwax or anything else will never get into the actual speaker grill itself. Unlike the original AirPods, which were really annoying to clean and could actually lower the sound quality. So with the AirPod Pros, just take off the silicone tip, rinse it, dry it, and it's perfectly clean. And because of this design, it allows the Pros to have a massive speaker grill, especially compared to other recently released in-ear earphones, which makes it much easier to recreate a wide soundstage of frequencies. The AirPod Pros feature a vent on the outside that lets in air so that the pressure inside your ears actually matches the pressure of the outside world. So even though they're using a sealed in-ear design, they don't plug your ears like basically every other in-ear earphone does. So they feel just as free and comfortable as they did before, almost like they're not even there. It's seriously the best of both worlds, and you really have to try it for yourself to understand how great this feature is. The Pros also have a new Force Touch sensor that replaces the old double tap design for controls, and so far, I'm extremely happy with the change. It's accurately registered my presses every single time so far, and it's super sensitive and quick, with no lag time and an audible click each time you press, so it's much more reliable than the double tap method. I especially like that you have so many more options now, allowing you to play and pause, skip forward, skip back, and switch between noise cancellation modes all on one AirPod Pro. With the original AirPods, you literally had to pick and choose just one control for each side. And to make it even better, you can go into your Bluetooth settings on your iPhone, tap the eye icon next to your AirPod Pros, and individually change the press and hold commands for each side. Now before I get into sound quality, I want to talk about noise cancellation. If you've never tried it before, it'll literally blow your mind when you turn it on. Any background noise like the air conditioning just disappears. With the old AirPods, I'd have to max out the volume to drown out any background noise, but then basically everyone around you can hear what you're listening to. What's great about the noise cancellation is that it now allows you to listen to music at much lower volumes while in noisy environments. And the transparency mode is amazing. It uses the microphone to basically record your surroundings, and then the speakers play all of it directly into your ears. Apple absolutely nailed it with the volume balance in this mode, because with it on, like it is right now, you can actually forget that you're wearing them. And in terms of how well the noise reduction works, larger over-the-ear headphones like the Sony WH-1000M3s do a better job because they obviously have much more power. So in the past, you definitely want to take those with you onto an airplane while traveling. But to be completely honest, the noise reduction on the AirPods Pros are more than good enough to be able to leave those large Sonys behind. And a big surprise to me was that the Pros actually have better sound quality than those $350 Sonys. Now they're not as loud or as bassy, but the quality itself is actually better. And it's noticeably better compared to the old AirPods as well, with the dynamic range or separation of low, medium, and high frequencies improved over the AirPods 2. You can easily hear and distinguish every instrument. Nothing gets blended together like you get with a lot of other earphones out there. The bass now feels very deep, rich, and accurate compared to before. And vocal reproduction is incredibly clear, along with bright highs that no longer sound blaringly loud, tinny, or distorted at maximum volume. And that's because of the inward-facing microphone that literally listens for distortion and automatically retunes the frequencies of the sound to make sure that there is no distortion. And even though it does this, the Pros are still more than loud enough, especially with the added noise reduction. There are certain songs that I used to play that have very specific high notes that would always make my speakers distort, like the song Strobe by deadmau5. So I replayed those songs on the AirPods Pros and it actually tuned those frequencies to get rid of the distortion. That's just insane. The best and my favorite part about this feature is that 2 years down the line, when other earphones will usually degrade in quality and start distorting at high volumes, the AirPods Pros shouldn't. The inward-facing microphone is also used for the new adaptive EQ feature, which analyzes how the sound bounces off the inside of your ear canal and then tunes it to the specific shape of your ear, sort of like how sound engineers tune the sound in IMAX movie theaters to the shape of the theater room to make sure it sounds amazing for the audience. So Apple is using this incredible software combined with 3 different sizes of ear tips to make sure that each and every person experiences awesome sound quality, no matter how big or oddly shaped their ear canals are. With all that said, I can safely say that yes, Apple actually fixed basically every major issue that people had with the original AirPods, and they added a bunch of awesome new features like noise cancellation and IPX4 sweat and water resistance. So if you're still trying to figure out if spending the extra cash on the AirPods Pro is worth it over the AirPods 2, I would say that if there's any way possible that you can stretch your budget enough to get the AirPods Pro, do it. Buy them and never look back, because I honestly think that Apple has absolutely nailed it with the AirPods Pro. If you enjoyed this review, tap the like button and check out the AirPods Pro versus AirPods 2 full comparison video right over there. And if you're not already subbed, click that circle above. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.